Buenas, les damos la bienvenida a toda la familia de Special Olympics y a quienes nos estén escuchando hoy en este nuevo episodio de nuestro podcast Valientes en el Intento. Hoy contamos con invitadas especiales de Special Olympics Norteamérica, con quienes vamos a hablar y conversar sobre el programa de Escuelas Unificadas Campeonas y su desarrollo allá y aquí en la isla. Hi, we have Lilian Narváez, Senior Director of Program Development and Innovation from UCS, and Lexi O'Brien, Manager of University Engagement. Hi, welcome to our podcast, Briefing the Attent. We are very happy and very glad to have you here in Puerto Rico. Could you tell us a little bit more about your duties in the program?
Sure. Thank you, Sonia, and pleasure to be here. Listening to what Special Olympics Puerto Rico has done in the Unified Champion Schools. Unified Champion Schools is a strategy that we use for all schools to become more socially inclusive. And what does socially inclusive mean? We want every student to feel as though they belong. They belong to a community, they belong to a school, they can play together, they can lead together, and they interact together. That's the goal of Unified Champion Schools. In the United States, we have over 10,000 schools. That includes Puerto Rico also. And our goal is to reach over 20,000 schools in 2030. This is a global initiative, a global program. We are in close to 100 countries all over the globe with Unified Champion Schools. So that means that we have a lot of youth that like to participate in sports, learn how to become a leader, and also become friends. And that's the key, is to establish great friendships that they can move along in their school, and then when they graduate, and into the community. That's what Unified Champion Schools is all about.
Perfect. And you, Lexi?
Yes, and again, thank you for having us. Super excited to be here. And a little bit about Special Olympics North America and who we work with. Our main customer, if you want to think of it that way, it's our programs. So it's the team at Special Olympics Puerto Rico, it's the team at Special Olympics Iowa, Texas, North Carolina, all of our programs in North America. And we kind of see what works, what doesn't work, kind of connect best practices across different programs, different regions of North America, because at the end of the day, it's the inclusive programming that we want everyone, people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, people without intellectual and developmental disabilities, to be able to experience together. Inclusive opportunities, everyone wants them, but there's not equal access, equal opportunity to get there. So seeing and hearing about the work and the plans that Special Olympics Puerto Rico has, all the successes that you've had up to this point, all of the strategy points that you have going forward, it's been really awesome to hear, and we're super excited to see the growth that Special Olympics Puerto Rico has in store.
Thank you, thank you. Here in Special Olympics Puerto Rico, we have right now 16 schools in the program that are practicing UCS the entire year, and we also have other schools that join our events with young athletes that are our participants from 2 to 7 years, and in different towns and in different parts of the island. Actually, you came to visit and to be part of our last event that will be on Wednesday in our University of Puerto Rico in the Rio Piedras campus. So I hope you enjoy it a lot, because we'll have basketball and football on that event.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to seeing the students in action. Those are two great sports for our population. And we love to see them, of course, competing, but more importantly is how they interact with each other, how you see the friendship that occurs while they're working together. So it's going to be really exciting, and it's great that it's on a university campus because we're trying to push that programming into universities because those are our future teachers, our future doctors, our future, individuals that are working in corporations to understand how to work and belong with individuals with intellectual disabilities. That's really important. So everyone, the community, can see what they can accomplish. They just need to interact with others, and it's like, anything else that we want to see for our children, we want to see for ourselves. This is important for our community to understand that we all belong to something.
Yeah, and I am super excited to see everything in action because I think talking about it, we have research out there, we have data and statistics, but to actually see it happen and see the relationships, the friendships between students with and without intellectual disabilities, that's where the impact is. I always have a favorite story I like to share. When I worked at Special Olympics Iowa, before this role that I'm in now, I was working with, it was a university level unified football program. And in one instance, one Special Olympics athlete was running the wrong way with the ball. And it took a couple times for the unified partners to say, no, go that way, you're going the wrong way. But one unified partner stopped and said, okay, we're gonna tie a ribbon on this side of the goal, or on this side of the field with this goal, and you see that water fountain over there by the other side? And so when you get the ball, we're gonna say, run to the ribbon or run to the water fountain. And so when you can see those actual examples, and that's a communication style happen right there that no one prompted. It was just something that happened. And I think that's the coolest part of seeing these events in action.
Yeah, it's definitely a great program. I think that what it attempts to do in terms of that sense of belonging, that inclusivity of it all, is definitely an amazing program. And can you tell us, Lillian and Lexi, more about your specific role within Special Olympics North America to try and impact this whole community? Could you tell us more about that?
Sure. I've been involved with Special Olympics for close to 37 years. I started with Special Olympics New Jersey as the vice president of sports, then moved into the 2014 USA Games, which I was the chief operating officer. Then this program called Project Unified, now it's Unified Champion Schools, came up and said, would you like to join this department? And it was outside of my realm, because I'm a sports geek. It's okay, now you're going to be working with state programs, Special Olympics programs throughout to engage schools into the program Unified Champion Schools. So what I do is I work with all the state programs to provide them technical assistance and professional development to not only encourage for more enrollment of schools, but to make sure that they're sustainable. This is not, like I said before, it's not a program that only happens during the school. It's a strategy that we want ingrained in everyday school and everyday life of a student, of a teacher, because we can't forget about our educators. This is really important for them because they get then the self-satisfaction that they're teaching children how to get along. Academics is very important, but more importantly is making sure that they get along, they understand each other, and they help each other to make sure that they can succeed in life. So when I go, I travel all over the country and seeing Unified Champion Schools in action. It just gives me that sense of yeah, this is great. We're teaching adults, we're teaching children how to be together, understand each other, and bring the human kindness, which is really important. So I have the fun part. I go and see the great things, and then with my experiences as a program person for 25 years, I can get into the weeds. I understand that, many times we look at the data, we talk about strategies, but we have to be practical. We have to understand what our programs, the accessibility that they have in not only funding, but facilities, staff, and all that. I work with them, say, okay, let's try something different. I try to connect programs to programs, do some peer-to-peer, so that the strategies that we give is strategies that you can succeed in. It's not, it's not going this high. It's let's work where you are, meet you where you're at, and then you'll see success. And that's what I love to do.
And how about you, Lexi?
Yeah, and Lillian, you mentioned adults, and in my area with university engagement, it is concentrated in developing programming for university-based programs. It's on college campuses involving college students. But when you look at Special Olympics as a whole, there is a lifetime of engagement. And so being in 10,000 plus schools in the United States, there's so many elementary schools that are becoming familiar with our programming, You move up to middle school, and if they're moving up the pipeline and that's not there, then we're losing people. That could be really, really important parts of our movement. And then you move up to high school, and that's when so many leadership skills and qualities really start to develop in young adults at that point. And then you move on to college or university. And we recognize that not everyone goes on to college or university. A lot of our Special Olympics athletes, hopefully they're going straight into the workforce, or they're in a development program. Hopefully there's that next step there for them. And in a lot of instances, college programs can be a next step of engagement as a local program, where there's a group on campus that says, hey, we're hosting a season of unified football, and it invites Special Olympics athletes to participate and be included in an environment where maybe they don't have the opportunity to have friends who are college age, because after high school, for a lot of our Special Olympics athletes, those opportunities do drop off. And when we're looking holistically at, these are people's lives too, and our young leaders that are growing up and playing unified sports and being involved, they're also looking for jobs. They're looking for that next step of involvement. So looking at Special Olympics Unified Champion schools in a way that develops, yes, your sports skills, your health, your social emotional learning, but it also prepares you to be a great leader if you allow it to. So in my role, it's working with our programs to figure out what's not working in your state or your program, what is working, and then sometimes with some of our national partnerships as well through campus recreation or athletics, what local chapters exist of our national partners that can support our programs. ESPN is another sponsor of ours that support unified sports growth in the communities and on universities. So Lillian said she had the fun part. I think I could also say I have a really fun part in navigating this very unique space, because kindergarten through grade 12, it can look different than the university sphere. So it is, sometimes there's challenges, but it is a really fun way to, make things happen for our people with and without intellectual disabilities.
It's great. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. And it's great to see parents when they're going to events, seeing what their child can do. And more importantly, not what they can do in the sports, but outside of the sports, if they're, sitting in the cafeteria, they're sitting together chatting, or at recess, or after school, they're finally getting asked to come to a birthday party and all. And it's all because of Unified Champion Schools that has that engagement of friendship that goes outside of the school building. And when parents come and says, my kid was invited to a birthday party, we have no idea how much that means to a parent. So it involves such a great gratitude of understanding what this program has done for hundreds of thousands of students throughout the, throughout North America, throughout the United States and Puerto Rico. So I'm super excited. My family is from Puerto Rico, and I am super excited that I think it was 4 years ago, we got the phone call that Special Olympics Puerto Rico wanted to do Unified Champion Schools, and I told my boss they're mine, and to come here, and I'm super proud of where Special Olympics Puerto Rico has come in 20, we're looking at 25 schools next year. I think it's going to be more.
We hope so. That's the goal.
That's my prediction, and it's solid programming, which is wonderful. I can't wait till Wednesday to see it in action, but I'm so proud of my heritage, and it's really comes in circle.
Yeah.
Say, wow, we're doing it. We're doing it good.
That's great. And specifically, in terms of those experiences, now you can translate it to like your own heritage and your background. And what are those experiences within Special Olympics in terms of this program specifically that you'll say like, okay, I remember this day or this day that really like, are rewarding to you, and are those experiences that motivate you to keep with the program and keep impacting lives for the better? Like, what have been those type of experiences that you can share? I bet there's been many, but
there's hundreds. Like I said, I started my career in Special Olympics right out of college, and the impact that I see is the growth in the participants. When I started as a coach, I coached a men's basketball team, and they did not know defense, offense, whatever. They just ran back and forth. Then we provided them some sports skills and all, and to see them grow, and more importantly, that they're proud of themselves. That was really important to see. Look, Coach Lil, I did this. I'm like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. So you see them not only engaging in each other, growing their skills, because it is a sports organization. We always talk about that. But more importantly, their confidence, that now they're thinking, and many of them I still see, they're working, in the Home Depot or something like that. I'm like, this is what Special Olympics has given them confidence. And I see their parents, and they're like, oh, remember when, So the parents even are able to speak very positive about how Special Olympics has impacted their family. Every time the games comes along every year, there's thousands of individuals, hundreds of individuals that go to the games. My boss always used to tell me, Lillian, remember when the games are done, this event is going to be spoken to thousands of individuals, aunts, uncles at the dinner table. You've impacted more people. That one person that you impact, they impact tens of thousands of other people. So that's the glory of working for an organization that you have impacted on a positive level, not only socially, but physically and emotionally. And, 40 years and hopefully 40 more years. I don't know about that, but, I can see it, and I see the growth and just the kindness and the competitive opportunities. They love to compete. They love to win.
Yep.
You can't say that, everyone's a winner. No, everyone wants to win. So that's the great part of it.
Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment in itself. And
Yeah, especially when I'm only 25.
Math. I've been with Special Olympics for a bit over 5 years now, being at Special Olympics Iowa for about 2.5, and in this role for a bit over 3. And a couple examples come to my mind. One of the coolest parts of my job, and one thing that I've started doing in the past 2 years in this role, is working with student organizations directly. So every month during the school year, I meet with a group of students who are in university and also Special Olympics athletes. So maybe they are a student at the university, maybe they're a community Special Olympics athlete who's involved in that programming. And earlier this year, I was doing more of like one-on-one conversations with them just to really understand what their experience is like. And from a unified partner and a couple unified partners, in some cases, one would say, from my first Special Olympics event, I changed my career path. I thought I wanted to be a nurse, or I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought I wanted to work for my parents' company, or whatever it was. They said it opened my eyes, and the impact that working with this population can have, not on them, but on me as a partner, as someone who does not have an intellectual disability. It was the complete switch of the for versus like into the with mindset of, I'm not volunteering for them. Like, I'm getting way more out of this than they're getting probably. So that's something I hear very consistently with a lot of unified partners that I work with. And for our athletes, one in particular, it was a very simple statement. She said, I feel included. I feel included. Another athlete that I talked to, he said he traveled with his university team to a national tournament that one of our partner organizations host, and he said, if I did not have this opportunity, I would not have friends who are in college or in that college age range. I would not participate on a university campus. I would not have the university logo on my jersey right now. So that, and just the opportunities that come out of these programs, like that's the cup filler too at the end of the day. And of course, not every day is seeing these things happen, but anytime, like that's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life, and it impacts the way that I interact with people. And I'm a more mindful person in the way that that I work with everyone because of Special Olympics as an organization. And if those bits, if everyone could experience those bits of inclusion, then I think we're taking a step in the right direction.
Sure. Yeah, and especially to that, like as far as my experience in the time being that I've been in Special Olympics, I think that's one of the aspects of it that really fills you up as a person, you know, seeing that impact that you have on the lives of other people, and specifically hearing it from them or from their families. Like I once had a family member of this athlete who went on to one of the games, and she had this whole experience where she helped out another person, and she saw it as something that was like normal for her to do, but it was this whole thing. And just her mom talking about that experience and how she felt a great sense of like, or ability to like help others, but in such a natural way. And she also talked about how she recognized the efforts of her other teammates, and that was really that was a great thing to hear. You know, that sense of community, that sense of their recognition of their efforts is not only their own, but of their teammates, and they create that sense of they're a team. You know, that togetherness is really amazing to hear. You know, and how it has changed their lives, either for specifically the athletes, the unified players, and their families. So that's really great.
Yeah, along with that lines, we have stories from our inclusion clubs of students that when the school year began, they don't talk to each other, they are extremely shy, they don't eat lunch together, for example, and as the school year goes on and the inclusion activities develop and they go to unified sports events, they start eating lunch together, hanging out, without being a teacher present or without being it forced, like you have to eat with somebody. No, it's just natural, like she's my classmate, he's my classmate. So we are gonna eat together, we're gonna talk, and we're gonna gossip, and we're gonna play without being forced just because they share a space in other moment during the school day.
Absolutely. That's so, and it happens just naturally.
Yeah.
If we just let our students, our young people, just take over, I mean, it just happens. The human kindness comes out, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And how do you say that? Human kindness. We try to move our clubs and our events towards the interest of the students to make them lead the events or make them lead their clubs. Because I cannot go on this is the recipe. This is how you do it, because that won't work in schools and in any other place. So we have schools that work everything sports related, others work things environmentally related, or just use arts as a way to express themselves and to deal with inclusion in school. And that makes things more easy and more amazing to happen.
When you go into a unified champion school that has been doing the unified champion schools, you can feel it. As soon as you enter the building, you know that the administrator, assistant, the secretaries, oh, you with Special Olympics Unified Champion Schools, we're part of that. They're so proud of it. And it's just the aura of what happens in the schools. You can see it in the hallways, in the cafeteria, in the classrooms, of course. So it's really important when a school does it well. You as a person going in, you can feel that. You can feel like, okay, this is a safe space. This is a place that I can understand. I can be myself, which is really important for all students, that they can belong and be themselves. We can capture that in the building, and the high fives around. You know, when there's a program that's called Clap Out, when they're ready to go to a Special Olympic events, everyone is in the hallway and outside just clapping for those students and giving them high fives. That little thing gives these individuals the confidence to say, I can do it, I belong here, and that's all we want them to feel.
We have some schools that are doing different events. That one will encourage them to do it for our next school year, because that's amazing. And we have one that will do a Respect Day now at the end of May, and they are pretty excited. They wanted to do a Respect Week, but the school have a lot of other things coming, so they were like, okay, we can do a day this year, but be sure that next year we will have a Respect Week. And every event, every activity during that day was planned, is being planned by the Inclusion Club, that is middle and high school. And they will integrate the whole school, and they will do different games, talks, a lot of different activities in the school during school hours to integrate all the students, the ones in the club, the ones in unified sports, and the ones that are just in the school but doesn't know. So everyone get more involved and more involved about unified sports and inclusive leadership.
You know, it's not the students that we have to say, this is what you have to do. It's the educators. We have to inform them. Let the students take a little control of this. And once the teachers see this, that the students are capable of doing it, they're like, it's just magic. They just have to sit back and, you know, there's of course things that they can and cannot do, but students understand that, and they just go in, they talk to each other, they plan it out, and teachers you can just see it in their faces, how proud they are, that they're like, oh my goodness, the students are really doing this. They understand what needs to be done. That's when the magic occurs.
And it's amazing because the norm here has been that the clubs and the unified sports begin with 3, 4, 10 students, and as the words go and as the words spread, they begin getting more and more and more. And we have schools that's like, Sonia, I have 30, 40 students and more than want to join the club and more than want to do sports. How do I do it? I don't know how I'm going to do it. I can help you, but you take as many students as you can. So as many students as can in the school and be in UCS and do Unify and do Respect Days and do Fan in the Stands and the other 1,000 amazing things that UCS has to offer for schools, students, teachers, parents, everyone involved. So we are wrapping up because we have 10,000 things more to do. Thanks again for having been here, from talking to us about UCS in the US, and for just being part of our event on Wednesday. Some final.
Yes, final words. Yes, we're gonna have Lexi and Lillian during this week. We're gonna be doing different impacts with the. On Wednesday, we have the biggest event of the year for this program. So yeah, keep looking for everything that we're gonna be doing, how Unified School is gonna impact your communities in Puerto Rico. Así que gracias a todos por escucharnos. Espero que sigan nuestras redes en Facebook y en Instagram, Special Olympics Puerto Rico. Y si no han visto nuestro video de Orgullo Especial, se lo dejamos aquí. Así que muchas gracias.
¿Sabes cómo se llama eso que siente Marisela al ver a su hija lanzarse para darlo todo? Eso es orgullo especial. Y es este orgullo lo que mueve a Special Olympics a promover la inclusión y transformar la vida de cientos de atletas con discapacidad intelectual a través del deporte. Tú puedes ayudarlos. Conoce cómo en specialolympicspuertorico.org y siente orgullo especial.